whatever you say or believe in life, whatever you say to yourself, to others, your ideas, your ideals too, they become your tomb, your grave. And if you're certain someone who's in a position of power, let's say a politician, something that most people don't think about or maybe ignore, it's the fact that whatever you repeat day by day in your head with your words, that becomes your reality and that becomes the lens through which you see the world, which is good, but it is also actually scary because then you get to a point in which you cannot consider other ideas because you cannot see them through the lens you've constructed, right? And you can change, right? Like there is a level of mercy in God's creation or direct contact with God. In this case, I lived that through Christ, and it's not a one time process, it's like many prunings. That's why Christ says that his father is the pruner, the gardener. He prunes his branches because as you move through life, you encounter new things, new processes, new ideas, and then sometimes like ideas grip you, right? Jordan Peterson talks a lot about that, and I think it was Carl Jung also talk about ideas gripping people. People, you might think that you have an idea, but most likely the idea has you. So that's very interesting. So um, that's something to consider. Maybe analyzing. That's why getting bored is very important because when you get bored, then just you're confronted with yourself, your ideas, your way of seeing the world, and that's scary. But it's also very helpful because then you can start to understand if you are on a path that you would like to be. Chicken. And yeah, like that's why you sometimes wonder like how does that person empower in charge, not to say names, how is he or she able to lie so easily, quickly, and readily? And it doesn't come without a price. Back in the days of my university, I read the Gulag Archipelago. Read the first two volumes. I'm still on the way to read the third one. And like you see how Alexander Solzhenitsyn talks about how people get manipulated and get consumed by their ideas, and how politicians that were the leaders of those movements, leading a lot of Russians into the Gulag archipelagos, how they got consumed by them, even to death. People too, people in the gulags, in the prisons, they also were, even being the victims, most of them were just waiting to be the perpetrators. That the same happens in a book, unique unit 500, something like that. I'll search the book, but it's about the battalion of, okay, I just researched the book, and it's Ordinary Men Unit Battalion, Police Battalion 101. It's an amazing book. It's a heavy book, but it talks about the same thing. Like in Nazi Germany, they recruited normal people from a small town there in the woods in Germany. They were your baker, your shoes man, your shoemaker, your, I don't know, your normal policeman, your neighbor, and they drafted them, and they started simple, right? They started to giving them orders like escort these Jews, load this armor, these firearms, clean this, clean that, but they, like, it was a psychological process that you might think not, but people in charge are really aware of those tactics, and they started to give them like harder tasks, more violent tasks, little by little. Or like, okay, he's insubordinating, hit him. And as that went forward, like those ordinary men started to receive permission, right? So they took it. They took it and they started to kill people. They became one of the most efficient battalion killers. Which comes to say that you and I are like that. Like most people, we are like that. We will take any chance to be the perpetrators. The only person capable of saying no is one person that realizes that fact and confronts that fact. Like, you have to confront your shadow. And coming back with the idea that the ideas have people, that's the physical manifestation of that, right? So you can be drafted like that. You can be carried away by an idea and become something you won't recognize. So the only way to be against it or be protected against that is just being aware, is being conscious of your dark side, of your flaws, and that's the only way in which you can escape that. But if you think that people in charge living by those ideas are not, let's say, are damaged by them, you see people lying all the time on TV, you must know that they are not at peace. They are not resting. Like, if you believe that everyone is a traitor, then you won't sleep without a knife on the side of your bed, right? So that's how they live. You can choose peace. You can choose to have better ideas. And that's something that Christ offers you. You can watch the Sermon on the Mount. It's the best set of philosophical ideas to live life. It's true, if Christ is God, then Christ's words are true, and I believe that. You should make up your own mind. And well, that's about it. That's something that I wanted to talk about while cooking this chicken. So remember that I have my English course here on the description, in the description. It's designed in a way that you can partake into the English learning journey. With 20 lessons, you'll get everything you need to be able to understand, write, read, and speak English, only if you follow the instructions and practice it continuously in the way I show you, which is an easier way, practicing with things you already like, not overcomplicating things, but maybe translating the songs you already like, singing them loud, understanding some grammar rules that you need, that you're liking. That's why you're stuck, right? And you can do a lot of great things with that course. So thank you.